Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Forward Friday. I have our founder of Forward Friday with us here today, Rayanne Hall. Thank you so much for joining us. My other co hosts right now, Danny and Wonderful, are doing amazing things in the world to this morning, so they weren't able to make it. Um, and we have the amazing Lori Whaley joining us today. Thank you so much. We're so excited to learn more about you. And what is so appropriate about this is I don't know if you two have met.
Not
You
officially.
I thought we did because we're Facebook friends. And were you at a Wise event? I don't know. I thought we had met at Wise, but maybe I'm mistaken.
A long time ago?
Yes.
Yes.
well, this is
That's right.
perfect.
Been a
that you
long
guys-
time.
I know, so perfect. You guys are reconnecting because you have just that warrior mentality inside you. So this is perfect. And Lori was wanting me to connect her with some people in the nonprofit world. And I of course said that she needed to meet Rayanne. So glad you two are reconnecting again. So here at Forward Friday, we navigate through life and it matters. We are here every Friday at 9:30 a.m. Rain or shine, we're here. We talk about leadership, mindset, life balance, whatever comes to mind. Today, we're talking about being a warrior, and we have Lori with us today. So, first off, we're going to do some top of mind. So, what is on top of your mind, Miss Rayanne Hall?
Top of mind. Well, you brought up my nonprofit, so I would say that is top of mind. It's people who keep their commitments, and there's so many people showing up to help us with this gala and making commitments to help and keeping their commitments. And I found as a businesswoman, I also have Hall Insurance that and in the business world and in networking, I really appreciate those who make and keep commitments. And like Melissa, you've had so much going on and you're still doing the social media twice a week. I mean, everyone that keeps their commitments, it makes everything run a lot smoother. So be known as a person who makes and keeps their commitments. I think it increases your trust, equity, and how people see you and stuff. And being a person that somebody can count on. Don't overcommit, that's for sure. But that's been top of mind. I just appreciate so much everybody who's been showing up and stuff like that.
Awesome. Yes. Make sure you put in the chat after the show the links to your event. And on
Okay.
top of my mind too, and thinking about the warrior inside of us. And so I've got my beautiful fighter hat on from an amazing nonprofit called The Beautiful Fight. And I love wearing hats. So anytime somebody has a hat, you should get now networking hats.
Yes, I've been doing hats lately too.
We totally wear it. Should get Forward Friday hats.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just what's on top of mind for me today too, is just really, you have days where you just feel like you can't do it and you just keep pushing forward and just keeping those little thoughts in your mind saying you're not good enough or I can't do it or I'm not smart enough or whatever those thoughts in your head are that you have that I think we all have. I'm learning. I always thought it was just me, but now I'm learning everyone has them.
Yeah. Oh, everyone.
And just pushing forward and just moving forward. So anyway, so we are here to chat with Lori. Welcome. Tell us just your history, about you, everything. We are so excited to learn more about you.
Great. Well, thank you so much for having me, Melissa, and great to meet you, Rayanne. Well, I'm a third generation Japanese American, and when I was 9, I was bullied and teased. In fact, a young man tripped me, punched me in the gut, and said, "You're a fat, ugly Jap." And then after that, I wanted nothing to do with my heritage. I didn't even go to Japan till I was an adult. And then my husband and I visited Japan, met the rich cousins on my father's side of the family, and they gave us a copy of the family tree and our family crest. And I go, "Well, thank you very much. Domo arigato gozaimasu." And a few days later, we went to the Jidai Matsuri, and that's a parade in Kyoto with over 2,000 people dressed in period attire. And for me, the highlight was the female samurai Tomoe Gozen. And at that time, I didn't even know there were female samurai. So that impression, she was strong and regal and beautiful. It left a deep impression on me. But then we had to pack our bags, go back home. And I just kind of tucked it away and thought about it until 2005 and 7. I was ruined 2 times within 18 months. And I was so messed up, diagnosed with traumatic brain injury, chronic pain. In fact, I was in so much pain, it felt like my body was split in two. One side was really painful and the other wasn't. And then to find out I was reading at a 7th grade level. And so that I just thought, I have to do something. I've got to fight back. So I went back to my samurai heritage. Well, actually my Japanese heritage, and the family crest. I found out, I saw it I told my husband, look, this is our family crest. And it was one of the 5 main samurai crests of feudal Japan. So I knew that samurai spirit was in me. And then I started thinking about, I'm going to write a book. And so I did write the book, and it was published in 2015. I self-published it. And then in 2016 went on Amazon. 2018, I signed a contract for a new edition of my book. But here's our family crest. You can see it. It has 3 stylized swords and 3 leaves that look like hearts. And so I continued to write. And as I did, everything started improving, and that shipment of books arrived. And I go, yes, that samurai spirit, it's in me. That DNA of the samurai warrior, it is in me. And I just know it because I'm a fighter and I never give up. And those principles of the samurai are they're so classic, courage, integrity, benevolence, respect, honesty, honor, and loyalty. And they pledge their sacred honor and their lives to defend the code. And so that's what I do. I teach people about the samurai spirit and the samurai war, the samurai principles. And I know that I stand on the shoulders of my samurai ancestors to share this information with the world so people can live their lives with courage and honor and integrity, because good ethics never go out of style. That's what I love to do. And that's my mission in life.
That's so amazing. I remember you at the WISE event sharing that book.
Oh,
I actually bought one from you.
You did?
And it came with like a really cool, was it a bookmark or something?
I have bookmarks, yes.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah, and I was really inspired by your story. I still am.
Oh, thank you.
I didn't know about the bullying, and that's such a problem nowadays. I mean, it's been a problem forever, actually, if you think about it. And to have people who faced it and forged ahead, and it's now, to have shame about your culture is just breaks my heart. And then for you to embrace it and write this book, and then to encourage others to embrace who they are and face those things. Wow, I'm inspired by you.
Oh, thank you. Well, it was a long, arduous task, and I was in my middle age, and I was going to have grandchildren, and I didn't want to be reading at a 7th grade level and then have my husband take me around everywhere. So I fought back over 1,000 appointments in order to regain wellness.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so, yes, you are just so encouraging and inspiring to me too. This has been such a pleasure getting to know you these last few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We've been hanging out. I love it. So you're in the Seattle area, right, Lori?
Well, more the west side, let's see, Gig Harbor, near Gig Harbor.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. How long have you been out here in the?
A long time. I was married decades ago, and after we got married, my husband was with Weyerhaeuser. We knew we were going to move up here, so we moved to Furcrest, which is like a little suburb in Tacoma. And then he said, we need to move to the country. So we went looking for a house, and I found a house I loved. The location was a bit far removed but he loved it. And I said, okay, you're the one that drives. But at that time, can you believe that we were on a 4-party line back in the 80s?
Oh, wow.
4 parties. That did, I thought that I would that was really long time. That was I was like almost archaic. But fortunately, we had another party on our life. There's only two of us, and they were very polite. They were older, and anytime we picked up, they hung up shortly. We did the same for them too. So it wasn't bad, but can you imagine 4-party line? And if there were teenagers or people that were busy or had businesses, it was long distance to call Gig Harbor, which was only 20 miles away.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, Gig Harbor is one of the most gorgeous places in Washington. Oh,
it is.
I mean, gorgeous. Washington State is beautiful, but Gig Harbor, man, you are blessed.
I've never been, then I guess that's where I need to go. So is it like a weekend trip from
trip?
Weekend trip. Well, it actually could be a day trip for you. It's really not that far. It's just around the sound, and you have to pay a toll. But I heard that it's going to be going down, and that's something that's been with us for a while. But we have another bridge, and it has 4 lanes. And at one time, it was just 2 lanes back and forth, and it was pretty bad.
Oh.
So what's next for you, Lori? I know you were doing a book signing at Barnes and Noble. So exciting. So are you doing more of those? What are you up to? What's next?
Hopefully things will relax some. I'm going to be going to Olympia to sign books. It's not really a book sign, but the one in Silverdale was. I'm continually looking for nonprofits to share my message with. And it's wonderful because Humanities Washington is a nonprofit organization, and they support and other nonprofit organizations by sharing speakers with them. So there's no expense to a nonprofit, and I get paid a little bit. So it's very nice. But it was quite a vetting process. They interviewed me. They had me submit this 5-page application, and I had to have references and an actual interview where I would be sharing my information. So that was different, but they chose me, and I was very pleased and very happy and honored to be part of that speaking bureau.
Awesome. I give so much credit to you, both of you, that can get on stage and be speakers like that. It's just something that I don't think I could ever do. It's a true gift that to get on stage and, speak in front of so many people. It's encouraging and inspiring. I love that. So tell us, do you have any questions, Rayanne? Sorry, I'm like,
oh, well, I was curious. I think you said you do something with a nonprofit.
Yes.
Yeah. What is that? What do you do?
It's called Humanities Washington, and they're an organization out of Seattle, but they support the whole state of Washington. And they have a speakers bureau. There were 30 people, and they chose me. Yeah. But I mean, it's amazing. They have college professors, poet laureates, and people that have a story, but they've also really gone through the process to choose the ones that they want. And you can just apply through Humanities Washington and look at their speakers. They have many speakers that talk about different subjects. You can have 3 per year. So you could do, whoever you choose, 3 times, and they will support you. They don't pay for transportation or lodging if that happens, but almost everything's done virtually, which is fine. And because we reach a lot larger audience, and like the one like I was sharing with you earlier, the one in Snow Isles had over 700 people registered, and there were over 300 people that came to the event. So that's really exciting, because it's hard to be in a room and gather 300 people together, but you can do that on Zoom.
That is so cool. Like she was telling me to put my event in the chat. I hope you'll do that too with this nonprofit that you're affiliated with.
Okay, sure. Yeah. I will do that. I'd love to hear more about your nonprofit.
Well, it's called Now Networking. Can I share it now, Melissa?
Yeah, I just got a pop-up here saying that we're not streaming on Facebook. So I was trying to figure that out. So,
okay.
So go ahead. Yes.
There we go. It's set live 15 minutes in. So that's interesting. So now networking, and we're twofold mission, and one is to help each other with business. That's the networking piece. But we also network with a purpose, because we give back to the community for young women who are overcoming adversities. We give them scholarship money each year till they get their bachelor's. And then we also do mentoring, and we do a college prep workshop. We do a recipient retreat. We do quarterly events. Those are two of them. And then we do workshops. I do a color code personality workshop, because with my mentoring, I found that to be the best way. I went and paid a lot of money, went through a lot of training to become a certified color code personality trainer. And I just love it. And I've shared that with all of the girls. We have 8 girls in our program. And then we just have we're going to do a service project once a year. So those are our 4 events: the color code, the recipient retreat, the college prep workshop, and then the service project. And so it's just super neat. And then we do one-on-one coaching. And within our networking group, we have all these women. We have life coaches, but we also just have successful business women who have specialties. And like one that just joined, she knows how to dress people and do the color. Even though she's a realtor, she went and she knows how to do all of that, and she's going to help the girls with that. So it's really fun. We pull in those people for the retreat, so they learn all kinds of different skills and they're around different women. I'm really passionate about it. Can you tell?
Oh, yes, I can. That's wonderful.
We have our gala coming up on the 31st. We'd love to invite you. We still have some tickets left.
Oh, you do? Where's it going to be?
It's it'll be a little bit of a drive for you, but it's worth it. Marysville Opera House.
Oh, Marysville. Okay.
It's a beautiful location. I just love that event space. And yeah.
Well, I would love to donate if you are accepting.
Yes.
Are you doing auction items?
Yep, we are. I'll put that in the chat as well. Okay. And there's a place you can just register it online, and we can figure out a way for you to get it to us if you're not coming. But if you can come, that's great. We have entertainment. We have a keynote speaker. I think Brenda Reese. Yes. She's our keynote speaker. So it's going to be a neat event.
Love.
That's on my heart, because I spent 12 years in the prison, both facilities. I actually live right between them. I lived near the one in Gig Harbor and then the one in Belfair. So yeah. I spent time at both and teaching a life class there.
Yes, I remember you saying something like that. That's so cool.
That's
very powerful work for people who could give up and stay in the cycle that they're in, and then that some people would just stay away and just count them out. And so for you to go in and take, cross that barrier and say, hey, you are a person of value and worth, and you can fight for a life that you want, that you can be proud of. And this isn't the end for you. And it really doesn't even define them. It's how they change and rehabilitate, or whatever it might be, whatever situation they might be in. I think that's cool that you did that.
Oh, thank you. Well, I started there because of Toastmasters. They were asking for people in the Gig Harbor Toastmasters to come and visit the club. And I did. And I loved it. There are some really powerful women that speaking in those clubs, and they are so dedicated. They just make some of the clubs on the outside look rather weak because of the dedication. They are there. They come prepared for the speech, and it's a very vibrant club.
Neat. That is amazing. Toastmasters, they've done a lot of good for a lot of people.
They helped me get out of my shell, because Melissa, honestly, I could not get in front of people. I'm a middle child, so the middle child, not heard, not seen, and doesn't like to ruffle the feathers. And I was working with Clemmer and Associates and just putting on a one evening event, and they said, okay, you can get 100 people there. So I got 100 people there almost single-handedly.
Nice.
But the tickets were only $20. But they said, okay, now you're going to introduce Brian Clemmer. And I go, oh no, how am I going to do that? As I thought to myself, well, how am I going to do that? So I knew there was a Toastmasters group. I went right to them and I said, I need help. And they helped me. And I haven't left. And that was like 12, 13 years ago.
Nice.
Clemmer Associates does good work. They also talk about the samurai. So I'm gonna go to their camp at the beginning of June, I believe. Yes.
Oh, that's so cool. And Melissa, you were talking about how you don't want to, you admire people who get up on stage and you don't feel comfortable up there. Toastmasters might be a good club for you. They have them in all the different cities usually. I mean, if they don't have in Lake Stevens, I know they have one in Everett. But I mean, that might be good for you, Melissa.
Yeah, I've been hearing it a lot lately, so that's probably, God saying, right? Like,
Yeah.
And
I
most
know.
of it's done virtually right now.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
last
still
night
virtually.
we had
Okay.
people from the Philippines, we had people from India coming
Cool.
to the club, and she was fabulous. She spoke about humor, and that's one thing I have. I should say that's been challenging for me because what I talk about is very serious. All those ethics, but I said there's sometimes that I lose words, because of TBI, and I'll just have to go. It must be TBI or something like that, because like sometimes I lose words, I lose thoughts, or I lose my train of thoughts, and that's kind of goes with the territory of TBI. But I consider myself a survivor, going
Yeah.
from reading at seventh grade level to writing a book. Then
Yeah.
I've overcome traumatic brain injury, but there's little times where it's kind of glitchy, and my computer wasn't working, it crashed. It was like I've been out of sorts a little bit lately, but I'm getting back there. I'm going to be working with Nicole today.
Yay. Yeah, have you guys heard of the show Tall Girl? I think it's on Netflix or something. But it is such a great show. I never watched the first one. I just watched Tall Girl 2, but it's totally about that. It's about this girl and she's got all these thoughts in her head about, like, oh, who do you think you are that thinks that you can do this, And so it's a whole show kind of about that. And so she had this dream of being on stage, in a musical or a play. And so, yeah, there's a part in the scene where she freezes, like she's forgetting her lines, And so her head is like, oh, of course you're going to forget your lines in the middle of the play. And so it's just really interesting. Have to check it out. It's really good. It's great for youth, I think, to watch. But it also talks about, it encourages people to come together, so she looks off onto the backstage, and one of the gals is like saying the words to her, so I just get goosebumps because it's like when you have, that's what we talk about on Forward Friday a lot, is when you have those people in your life that you can just go to when you need help. That's just, and they're going to be there for you. That's what it's all about, your tribe and pushing forward.
Yeah.
Love it, love it. So what else do you have going on, Lori?
Well, I started coaching, and I am an HNLP practitioner. I've only used coaching for individuals, but then I decided I'm going to do a group program. And so that was very challenging for me. And the basis of it was my book. That's part of it. And the other part is I knew there's another word called gambaru, and it's try your hardest, do your best, never give up, and go for broke. So that's very Japanese. It's like, don't give up. And that's the spirit of the Japanese people and the samurai. They did not give up. Didn't matter if they went into battle and they were going to lose, they did not give up, because it'd be better to go in and die an honorable death than to chicken out, go hide or whatever. And so then the other part, and what I worked with the women, is know your why. And that's so, it can be almost cliche now. There are so many people doing all these things. And I go, I need to find something Japanese. So I found it. It's called Ikigai. And
I love that
know
name.
him. No, it's Ikigai, and that is a Japanese word. And I go sometimes to maybe he's out there.
Love it.
Let's hope not. But Ikigai is to find your purpose in life. And that's what the people of Okinawa do. They know what they have, a purpose in life, and theirs is so important to them that it not only serves a person personally, but also serves others. And that's what I love about Ikigai, because you can have a passion, an idea, a dream, but if it's just about you, and that's all, that it stops there. But if it serves the world and people around you and people that then it is your Ikigai. And they attribute a lot of things to it. And one of them is Hachi Harabu. That is eating until you're only 80% full. Don't overeat. Eat your vegetables. They eat at least 5 vegetables. That's probably an understatement. They probably do more like 10 every day. They eat very little meat, fish maybe 3 times a week. And rice is their staple. They just live really long lives. And they're one of the 5 communities throughout the world that have a lot of centenarians. And so I love it. I just think, this is it. I found what I was looking for. And like Helen Keller says, I know what I'm looking for. It's not out there, it's in me. And so people, a lot of times they look outside, or they look for here, there, they look for other people, but it's all the answers, and everything that they need is already in them. And so if they have a dream, the dream is there because they're meant to fulfill that dream. They're given the gifts. And, I believe that gifts are God-given, that God gives people gifts, and he doesn't just give you gifts just to laurel in it or tout yourself. It's to help others. That's what I love about Ikigai. So I'm going through a coaching program with some students, and it's turned more into, which I love, it's turned more into mastermind book club. I just love that part because people are really engaged. They're trying to find their Ikigai. And then at the end, we're going to work on Ganbaru, is never give up. And that's what I had to do in order to overcome traumatic brain injury, because I had doctors that, thought I was nuts. One doctor told me that I was reading it. I couldn't see very well. And he goes, well, this was an ophthalmologist. He said, well, there's no correlation between the accident and your vision. I thought, okay. Like, yeah, there is, because all of a sudden I couldn't read and my eyes were like all over the map. And I went through about 3 years of vision therapy in order for my eyes to get corrected, but they did. And I did not go back to that ophthalmologist, and I found other people in the health field that are supportive of my journey. So that was good, because I looked fine on the outside, but inside I wasn't fine.
Oh, what a journey you've been on. I mean, think of so many, you've been through so much, and now you're giving so much back, and you face so many things, and now you're helping others face theirs.
I love it. I really love it. Thank you.
Yeah.
How do you spell that? Ikigai. How do you spell it?
Ikigai. And they've been doing a lot of TEDx talks about that, and you can find books, audiobooks, and I have several on my phone so I can listen to it because I'm teaching it. And there's also a Venn diagram that goes with it, because there's an intersection of what you love, what the world needs, and what you can get paid for. So those 4 all intersect, and when they do, and it could be your Ikigai. But you start out small. Everything starts out small. You don't start out with these big grandiose ideas. You just start working towards it, researching about it, and then finding out you're good, and just start asking yourself questions, because when you ask yourself questions, you'll get the answer.
Yes.
Awesome. Oh, so good. Well, we just have a few minutes left. So what I just wanted to thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you.
You have been an inspiration to me those last few weeks. And so do you have any events coming up that you're working on?
Well, of course, always Humanities Washington.
Okay.
And I'm going to start a year-long program, and I believe it's going to be in the fall. And my goal is to end up in Japan.
Oh, nice.
In 2020, I had a tour all planned out, a beautiful flyer designed and everything, but everything shut down. And in the spring of 2020 is when the book was released, and we had a tour plan, go to Japan, Kyoto and Tokyo, and then up and down the West Coast in a few places, but everything shut down. And so now everything's done virtually. And that's what I'm going to be doing, is more coaching, but it's going to be group coaching, and then add personal coaching with that, with the anticipation of going to Japan, because right now it's pretty closed. It's hard to get in. And if you go to Japan, you get to stay in a hotel for 2 weeks and never leave. Like, that's not a vacation, because 2 weeks, your vacation's gone. So I'm just waiting for things to open up. And Japan is just, I just tell people I've been there, and until you go there, it's like you can't imagine a world where you don't feel like you're threatened or you're going to be attacked. And people are honest and they're kind. You go to the subway station and people are lined up except for rush hour when people are just being shoved in. But you go there and you just see people all lined up. Some might be reading their paper or something like that, but it's just a culture that's just like none other that I've ever been to. And the food is fabulous. I actually lose weight when I go to Japan because the food is so healthy and good for you. And then you walk all the time because it's not like the United States. They don't cater to you like that. People pretty much do it yourself. You pick up your bags and you go down to the train station, you go up and down the escalator or elevator, whatever you do, but you pretty much do it on your own, except if you're in a tour group, then the bus comes and picks you up. But it's like, that's really not a way to see Japan. We go to places where not many foreigners go to, and sometimes we're the only foreigners that when we go some places just off the beaten track.
Yeah. Neat.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us, Lori. And if anyone out there is watching, you want to come on to the show, we're here every Friday. You can just fill out this link and we'd love to hear your story. Thank you for popping in here so I didn't have to host alone, Rayanne.
Big love.
Yeah.
Fun to be back.
Yes. Yeah, hearts and love. I got mine too.
There you go.
Oh, I like that.
That is what it's all about, is just being out there in service and finding your ikigai and how you can help and serve the world. So I hope everybody has a wonderful Friday and a good weekend.
Have a little fun. You worked hard all week. Work hard.
We did. So love to connect with anybody. And if you know of speaking opportunities, I love to speak. Virtually is what we're doing most right now until things open up.
Awesome. Yay. So I had LoriWhaley.com. Is there anything? Are you just Lori Whaley on Instagram and Facebook too? Or is there another link I can put?
My Facebook is Lori Sugawa Whaley, Tsugawa. And then I also have a samurai community that I'd love people to join. We have 402 members. And I teach and speak about, I don't actually speak, but I do teach about Japanese culture and the samurai and the code of ethics. And people are really engaged in the community. I love it because they're posting and they're commenting. And when I have one woman from Japan that is contributing about the language and the culture. So it's very interesting.
Awesome. Okay. I am just going to put that Facebook in the chat for everyone. And Facebook doesn't like me today. It's saying error again today. So I don't know what's going on with that. Anyway, have a good weekend. Bye.